Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. On the menu today, I'll be continuing my talk about my PAX 2015 trip, and we're going to go and be moving on to my third day of events, which also happened to go and be the third day of PAX. So that being the case, let's get cooking. So at any rate, the third day of PAX is the third day of PAX is Sunday, and it's definitely a calmer day than some of the other days. You know, everybody has kind of been on the show floor for a couple days, have kind of gotten a feel of things, and things start to go and like calm down a little bit, and it's not quite as insane as it were on the first couple days, but it's still definitely kind of nuts. So for my day, I went and started things on the second expo hall, which is up on the 6th floor, and going and walking around checking out some of the side hallways or booths and like looking at things I hadn't looked at. The first one that I went and tried out was Poker RPG from Lunchtime Studios called Lords of Tokyo. So this one was kind of an interesting one to go and sit down. It reminded me a lot of what's the title I'm going and thinking of? Anyway, Telltale's poker game. It was a lot of fun to go and play with, but as I was going and looking to go move on to other things, I maybe didn't go and give it quite the time that I should have. But basically, it's kind of like an RPG where you're going to go and be leveling up and gaining these skills and abilities, which, well, essentially amount to cheating in poker, to go and play through this storyline that's gone and set in 1920s Prohibition, New York. So it's an interesting title, and if you're interested in poker and combining in RPG elements with that would definitely be something to go and keep an eye out on. After going and playing the demo, they went and gave us these super awesome black poker chips, so that's at least a little bit of neat swag to go and get. After that, I went and moved on to go and have a look at the PAX 10 booth, and if you're not familiar with what the PAX 10 is, a panel of judges for PAX go and select 10 indie titles to go and feature in what they go and call the PAX 10. And it's basically this like large booth area that's like set up that's got various display stations all around the outside of the booth, and you can go and check out these various titles. So there were a lot of really neat ones on there, including a lot of titles that are already out, some for like different platforms. Adventures of Pip, which is one that was out or on the floor with their own booth last year, happened to go and be one that was there. But the one that I went and played, that I'm going to go and be talking about, is Battle Chef Brigade, which, you know, I am the chef, so going and playing a game about chefs definitely goes and makes sense. And that one, it's a really interesting hand-drawn 2D action title where you're going and using a match 3 mechanic to go and do your cooking, and was kind of neat, so you could go and throw in all these ingredients and you could go and put together these different dishes. But in order to go and get your ingredients, you had to go and take part in almost kind of like a 2D brawler style where you were going and beating up all these enemies and picking up the ingredients that fell from them once they died. It was a super neat title, and I'm like really looking forward to going and seeing the way that or the other mechanics within it, like what kind of dishes can you go and make if you go and combine together different ingredients, that sort of thing. It's not due out till sometime next year, so we'll have to go and wait and see on that one, but definitely expect a little bit more coverage from me on that one, as, you know, Battle Chef, Chef Fitaurus, totally goes and makes sense. After that, we went and moved back down to the Indie Mega booth back on the main expo floor, and I was just going and wandering around and going and checking out the sites and going and trying a couple of the titles there. So one of the first ones that I went and played down there on Sunday was Ooops Cards upside down. Mini Metro, which is a minimalistic subway layout game. So I did go and capture some video of that, so I'll go ahead and show my video of it. Basically, what you're going and doing is you're going and laying out these subway paths that you're going and trying to go and get passengers, customers from one station to another. And, you know, a triangle customer wants to get to a triangle pattern, so you need to kind of figure out the best ways to go and lay out your stations to go and achieve that. and you lose if you go and have more than 6 passengers waiting at a station for too long. There's a timer that starts to go and count down once there are 6 passengers there, and if it gets all the way to full, game over. It's a fun kind of like Zen-like experience, so it's already available in early access, or if you're going and playing a browser that supports the Unity plugin, then you can go and just play it on their website itself. I'll go ahead and include a link to that in the comments below. So definitely check that one out. It was a lot of fun to go and play. I will probably pick it up at some point myself and go and have some fun with it. Then we also popped over to the super flashy Distance booth to go and try that one out. Distance is a futuristic car racing title. It's been available for a little while. It's been in early access for at least around a year, I think. So if you're interested in those kind of like futuristic racing with like car parkour action and crazy stuff like that, that's one to go and check out. It was a lot of fun to go and play. We went and played it in a 4-player environment and did horribly, but it's like it was fun all the same. Then moving on, right next door to that, there was a demo station for a title that's been at PAX for a couple years now, Tumblestone, which is another interesting match 3 title, where instead of going actually push, like firing blocks up or going and combining combinations, you're actually pulling blocks away from these blocks that are going and coming down, or at least at the top of the screen. It's a neat mechanic, and it's always been shown at PAX, at least last year and this year in my experiences, as a multiplayer title, and it's a lot of fun that way because you're going and competing to go and see who can go and clear the set the fastest. So it was kind of manic that way, and it's well, just an enjoyable title that direction. So there's that, Tumblestone, a lot of fun. Then moving on to some of the titles that we checked out in the mini booth, which is just kind of like a smaller section within the whole PAX indie mega booth. You've got the PAX Etsy Indie mini booth, which just goes and has this like 1 or 2 monitors set up going and demoing various games. There were a couple I went and tried. One that's like already out and available, and if you're interested in trippy action puzzle platformers, give it a try. It's I'm not even sure if you can really go and see this, like all kinds of crazy hypnotic effects. Woo! Circa Infinity, or Circa Infinity. It's basically this weird circular platformer where you're always trying to go and get deeper and further in to go and get to the goal. And even in the few levels I went and played, I had this crazy trippy stuff, yo. So it's available, it's not very expensive, and if you're interested in trippy platformers, check that one out. Then another one that I went and spent a decent amount of time with was Sublevel Zero from SigTrap Games. So it's, if you're an older gamer like myself, you might go and remember the titles Descent, Descent 2, Descent Free Space, and those kind of titles from the late 90s, early 2000s. And Sublevel Zero looks to kind of draw a lot of inspiration from those titles. It was a lot of fun to go and play. Basically, you're this fighter, and you can go and move in any of the 6 axes. So, you know, forward, backward, left, right, up, down. So the range of movement is great, and it's kind of like an exploration-based roguelike, where you have got permadeath present. The stages go and procedurally generate each time, so it's different. The weapon drops go and are randomized, so you can go and get some really like awesome weapon drops one run, really crappy weapon drops another, that sort of thing. It's one that I'm really looking forward to going and seeing how the development goes and comes along on it. And when it goes and comes out, I totally plan on going and picking this one up and going and giving it a lot of coverage. That's Sublevel Zero, so look forward to that. Then we went and spent some time out and about on the show floor and even in the city itself, so I didn't necessarily see much else, but towards the end of the show, just going and doing a last minute sweep through looking for anything interesting. I went and stopped at the Vector Unit booth up on the 6th floor expo hall, and went and tried out their demo that they had set up there for Riptide GP Renegade. So Riptide GP is actually a title that, despite the fact that it's been out for a little while, there's like GP, GP2, which is available for the PlayStation 4, which I recently picked up. It's kind of well, the people behind Vector Unit actually were the ones that were responsible for Hydro Thunder and titles like that. And the game itself goes and plays so much like an old Hydro Thunder title that if you are a fan of that game, you should definitely go and check out Riptide GP. As well, essentially, it's Hydro Thunder and all but name itself. So it's just a fun kind of boat. Like Wave Rider racing title, and you know, if you're into that kind of stuff, it's so much fun to go and play. And this one goes and supports up to 4 players, I believe. Same with like the GP2 that's already available. So definitely, if you're into those kind of water-based racing games, check out Riptide GP Renegade when it goes and comes out. I think it's going and releasing across the usual platforms: PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. Alright, well that'll go and just about wrap it up for me. I'll go ahead and show a couple more shots that I went and got from the showroom floor. There was definitely some neat statues and displays to go and look at. Like I went and showed before, certainly in the Indie Mega booth, the most flashiest booth was the Distance booth. But you've got those awesome displays. There was a really neat 2K Battleborn setup. There was some neat stuff over in the Bethesda booth for both Dishonored 2 and Fallout 4. They had a automated, full-size Mr. Handy model set up, and it was really impressive to go and see. And there was also the super amazing, awesome go-looking Minecraft Story Mode booth from Telltale, where they went and basically had their entire booth set up going and looking like it was this I can't remember the name of the type of, but basically building or straight out of Minecraft. It was incredible to go and walk around that. The lines were always too long, so never was willing to go and wait in line to try out that game, but it was still kind of neat to go and see. So once again, as I've gone and reiterated in my past videos, if you go and get the chance to go to a PAX, regardless of if it's PAX Prime, PAX East, PAX South, or PAX Australia, I highly recommend it. It's definitely one of those experiences that you won't soon forget. And in addition to going and playing the games, there's a lot of just good memories you can take away from it. You know, you've got all the expo floor, you've got the panels, you've got the concerts. PAX is just an incredible experience that I feel like all gamers should get the chance to go and have. Alright, that'll go and wrap it up for me today. So thank you so much for going and stopping by and checking out my video, and we'll see you again next time.